man. You good, man.
No, it ain't.
You good, man.
Hey, my shit ain't good.
All right.
What do you think of Jeff Mayweather's hair, Jay Leon?
What can you say? I mean, it's hair, man. What the fuck?
That's it?
It's hair. Is it Jeff Mayweather or is it the hair? Which one is it? You know, what do I think about Jeff Mayweather? He's pretty good. He's a great guy. With the hair, I mean, shit.
That's a whole different story.
A whole different story.
All right, Jeff, just 5 days ago you had your guys there, and
Yeah, he did real good. He did real good.
what'd you think of the fight, Jay Leon? You were here, right? You got to see it. Let's ask you first.
I mean, come on, man. This King Mo. He do what he do. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, he puts in work. And, you know, he comes out victorious. He had a minor setback. He had a major comeback. So that was it.
So you can meet at a catchweight. You ready to take him on in MMA?
Not at all. What the hell you talking about? Not at all.
Boxing, right? No catchweight necessary in
but
boxing.
that kicking shit ain't for me. No. Come on.
All right, Jeff. Well, you had just 5 days ago. You had two guys in the card there, Ryan Martinez and King Mo. Congratulations on Mo. Unfortunate for Ryan there. Let's start with Ryan. It was a big opportunity for him. Unfortunately, it didn't go his way. Thoughts on how the fight went? You know, I know he broke his hand in the first round early, which kind of changed his plans. But just thoughts on how that fight played out itself, and did it go the way you wanted to for the most part?
Well, I mean, I think it was unfortunate that Ryan did break his hand in the first round. I thought the first round could have went either way. The second round, of course, Ryan actually won because of the fact that the guy was also penalized. And basically, it was just a matter of, making it through the last round. But once he got taken down and with a broken hand, there was no way he could get up. I mean, he tried everything he got, to try to get up. So, I mean, I was proud of him, because, I mean, he showed no quit. He worked hard, and he fought with everything he had. So, I mean, I'm proud of him.
Now, I know I heard Roy Nelson, he worked his corner the other day, but he was talking about how, Ryan didn't tell him he had hurt his hand in the first round. Is that a pride thing? Is that, looking back, is that something you want to change? Let him know that you change strategy or what?
I think that it is probably more a pride thing with Ryan himself, because Ryan's not a crybaby, and with that being said, that probably hurt him in regards to the corner, because they would have came with a different strategy, but without them knowing, I mean, they didn't know what to tell him, no change of plans.
Right. Was that something that looking back, that you can see that his hand was affecting him, or did he throw the left a little more than he should have, or would you? I mean, his stand-up looked pretty good. I mean, he was impressive for the most part. He landed some really nice shots. What do you think of his performance on the feet? Especially because he's a wrestler for the most part.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I thought that his performance was well. I mean, he was in with a very good guy, a very good fighter. And of course the expectation was for the guy to blow Ryan out. Ryan just kind of like came on the scene and won, two quick fights, and all of a sudden he's thrust into the finals of the tournament. So it's a situation in which, I mean, he came a long way in a short time.
Now you haven't been with MMA guys for a real long time, but you do have a lot of experience with boxing heavyweights. With stamina, obviously Ryan, they both were gassed in the fight. Ryan in the third round, right before the end especially, he was completely gassed out. What do you do to combat that, or with heavyweights? Is it something you kind of live with and playing around, I guess?
Well, I think it's one of those things in which, when it comes to MMA, there's it's a little different than boxing, because in boxing you can actually find a way to take a little break, because it's the fight is being fought only on your feet. So I mean, you can dance around a little bit, and get out of the way of your opponent. But in MMA, there's so many different facets. Like once you get took down, it takes a lot of strength to get up, and you work so hard to try to get up. So, I mean, that's one of the reasons why I think that whether you're heavyweight, no matter what weight, I think that it takes a lot out of you when you're struggling to get up off the mat.
Right. Now, after the fight, how were his spirits? I mean, is he looking at it as a minor setback, or is he take it pretty tough? How do you react to the loss?
No, I mean, Ryan he's a positive guy. He's a guy who's been through, a lot. He's been through 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 a lot. He's been thro we've been through hell already. So I mean, at the end of the day, it's just a fight. And this is how he makes his living.
And knowing that he was injured in that fight in the first round, and he gave a guy that was supposed to, like you said, blow him out, gave him everything he wanted and then some right up until the end. There has to be actually something, a boost to his confidence, if anything, knowing that, hey, he can beat anyone if he's, doesn't have a broken hand.
Right. I think so. I mean, the situation is like, I think that Ryan has no reason to be ashamed. Like I said, he fought with everything he had, so I'm proud of him.
And he had a quick turnaround. The next fight was King Mo. Little animosity in that fight, but once the fight started, all respectful, but the fight was a blowout. Did kind of play out the way you expected? You expect a little bit of a tougher fight there?
Not really. I mean, I know for one thing that Mo really wanted to beat this guy, and he wanted to beat him bad. So, I mean, because they've both been doing a lot of trash talking, back and forth. So it's one of those situations, once you get that opportunity and you see that you're the superior athlete, you take advantage of it, and basically you maximize your advantage, and that's what Mo did. I mean, Mo, one thing me and Mo had talked about is the fact that I always tell him now that you're a world-class wrestler, you're not a world-class boxer. So, take these guys down and then beat them down, as opposed to, doing stand-up. And you can see Mo didn't really do too much in stand-up.
Yeah. Now, but is a little tiny part of you, and somewhere in the back of your mind there, you're a little bummed out that all that boxing work doesn't get to be on display in the cage, and he just wrestled?
Not at all. Not at all. I mean, I'm not in MMA to impress people about how well I can teach somebody to box. When the most important thing is winning. Right. So if I'm with somebody that boxes great, but if they ain't winning, what sense does it make for me to be in that corner?
How far has he come along since you first started working with him?
I mean, I don't think everything. Only thing with Mo is that basically, I think that it was a lapse in one fight. Since I've been with him, is that he got caught up in boxing, and I think boxing may have cost him that fight because of the fact that he was so intent on boxing as opposed to taking the guy down, and that's his strength. Okay. And we did 2 fights prior to that, and of course, and I mean, he looked spectacular just with stand-up. So, of course, the next fight, it carried over into that fight, and then now, since the upset, you see that the first thing Mo do is take these guys down, and then he pounds them out.
Right. Now, it's not been made official. I don't know. Mo doesn't know. You don't know. But if Attila Vey is not healthy, it's more than likely he'll fight Emmanuel Newton in his next fight for an interim title. Like I said, nothing that any of us know about. But if that fight's made, as someone that works with him, how do you deal with the emotional part? I mean, coming off I hate to say embarrassing, but a loss like that. How do you, and especially a fight where you are clear, where you think you have the advantage everywhere, how do you handle him emotionally going to that fight so he doesn't overdo something?
No, I think that Mo himself, I mean, he got a chance to watch the fight. And when you watch the fight over and over and over, the one thing that you can see is that it was basically a punch more thrown for survival. Not saying that it's not a technique, because it is a punch that's a technique also, but it was more punch thrown like, get off me, as opposed to I'm throwing this punch to catch you, and it just happened to catch him, and it can happen to anyone.
But do you think it'll be, like I said, him? Is it harder to have a fight like that against someone that you're trying to redeem yourself against, especially someone that it's talk a little trash about it afterwards? And is that harder than going in against somebody you've never fought before?
Well, I don't think so, because I think the one thing is this, is that, I mean, the fight ended early, and Mo was still, pretty much winning the fight and controlling the fight. And exactly when Mike Hogan said, let's get ready to take him down, that was just getting ready to come out of his mouth. And of course, he got caught. And that's one of those situations in which, as a fighter, the first thing that you do now is, you know what your strengths is. So it's not about a stand-up. It's not a stand-up match this time. Mo's gonna go in there and do what he do best, and that's try to take him down and pound him out like he just did these last 2 guys after him.
Last question. It was kind of funny when, a couple of years ago, the Mayweather family, not you in particular, but I guess with Roger or whatever, made some comments, anti-MMA comments. Here you've been in the business pretty involved a couple of years, and it seems like everybody's embraced it. They're in the gym all the time. You and your brothers all. What's it like a couple of years in? How have you enjoyed the experience of getting into MMA? And are you surprised that you've been involved this long and as heavily as you have been?
Well, I mean, I feel blessed that these guys reached out to me, to give me the opportunity to showcase my talents, and pass them on to the MMA fighters. And and of course, my name is actually growing much more in MMA than it is even in boxing. So it's a situation in which I'm sure that it's going to probably go on for a while now.
So 4 years ago, did you ever think that you'd be the go-to guy in MMA to learn your stance?
No, of course not. I mean, to be honest, I never even thought I would be involved in MMA, but it's one of those situations in which you never say never, and like now, to me, it's become a blessing.
All right, Jeff, well, congratulations, and I look forward to seeing Ryan and Mo back in the cage for too long.
All right.